Good morning, everyone. My name is Dr. Mohsen, and today I'm going to talk about love again because I started streaming Love Talk from last week. And if you watched my video last week, you know that what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Love Talk. What I'm talking about, I repeat, I'm talking about love. What is the definition of love? And sometimes you have to know what love is. Always we talk about love, 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 love. We can talk about love 24/7, but what is really love is? What is real love? So, love is a complex and powerful force, one that plays out in a number of emotional, cognitive, and social ways. So, when you are talking about love, you have to know. Sometimes you have to let go of your love. Sometimes you have to say goodbye to your loved one. Sometimes breakup happen. Sometimes other things. You lose your loved one without any intention. Maybe you don't have any intention, but you lose your loved one. Although you don't want to lose your loved one, but it happens. You lose your loved one. So, according to the late psychologist, so I found a psychologist, and according to the late psychologist John Allen Lee, there are six broad styles of love: agape, ludus, storge, eros, mania, and pragma. We look at each in turn to help determine the type of love. So everyone have different style of love. So today I'm going to explain it to you what is your style of love. And when we love a person, we feel emotional arousal in their presence. We will also have a set of thoughts about that person. And our previous experience can shape our ideas about what we expect in our relationship. For example, for example, if you believe in love at first sight, then you are more likely to experience it. So, unless you believe in something, you cannot expect that happen. When you believe in love in first sight, maybe it happened for you. You saw someone, you met someone, and you fall in love with that person in first sight. But if you don't believe in love in first sight, your the possibility that you experience it is almost zero. You don't experience love in first sight. You don't believe it, and it doesn't happen. And you might say that you love your partner or your family or your best friend, your job, or even your car. Clearly, you are using the term in different ways that highlight the various dimensions of love. The ancient Greek described several different types of love. Following the Greeks, the sociologist and activist John Allen Lee suggested that there are six broad styles of love. It is good to keep in mind that although these love styles can be thought of as types, we are not necessarily locked into only one. We are not locked into one. Maybe we are in different style of. For example, maybe a couple hold hands. Maybe a couple doesn't hold hands. These are different style of love. But maybe you go from one type to another type. That is, you can change your style of love. Maybe you don't hold hand. After a while, you change your mind and hold hand. You shift from one style to another style. Everybody can change mind. So maybe you change your mind. Maybe you say before that, oh, we don't hold hand, but after you don't say it again. You say we hold hands. So maybe it happened. Then, yes, and it is good to keep in mind. It's good to keep in mind that although these love styles can be taught as a type, we are not necessarily locked into only one. We might have a predominant love style, but we also have some element of the other style. Similarly, our love style might change over time based on your experience and interaction with your partner. When you are in partnership, no matter it is out of your league or not, your lifestyle change happen. Based on your experience, when you experience something, your lifestyle change. For example, again, I give you a lot of example for you to understand. For example, maybe you and your wife don't hold hands, but again, you hold hand again. This style is typically experienced as a romantic fairy tale type love. Eros. Eros is a fairy tale. It happens in a field. It happens that two people bump to each other, accident or something happened, and they are in the now. Sometimes it happens. It's not only in the films. Sometimes you are in a good place and a good time, and you bump to some other person, and you will be partner. Then errors happen. Physical beauty is important to this lifestyle. So you met someone, oh, so handsome, so beautiful, you fall in love. In the first sight, this is the first category, eros. Attraction is intense and immediate. The first time you meet somebody, you say, oh, maybe you say, oh, I feel that. You have a feeling for that person. That's the love in the first sight. And the eros lover feels an urgent drive to deepen the relationship emotionally and physically. Because these individuals love the feeling or being in love, they tend to be serial monogamists. Staying in a relationship as long as it feels fresh and compelling. It happens normally for teenagers. Teenagers feel this. Maybe you are at 17 year age. You are 17, maybe you are 17, and you met someone and you fall in love. And as long as you committed to that relationship, it stays. But normally it didn't stay forever. You are not in relationship when you are a teenager. So as long as it's fresh, you enjoy from that relationship, and then you break up, and then you are not friend anymore. You are not in relationship anymore after 1 year or 2 years. After you reach a certain age that you are not teenager anymore, you break up. So if you are 17 and you want to start a relationship, be careful. Stay committed. Okay? And the second one is storage. A storage type tend to be stable and committed in the relationship. They value companionship, psychological closeness, and trust. For these individuals, love sneaks up on the pair. This love style is enduring, and these individuals are in the for the long haul. That is how BFF things work. They are together and try to work together and deepen their relationship. That's the second one. So if you're on the second one, it's better than the first one. Second always is better than first one. First one is not always good. Being second sometimes is much better. And that is how BFF work. So they are best friends forever. They stay committed to each other. And the third one is Lotus. Lotus is people with the Lodic style view love as a game that they are playing to win. Often this can be a multiplayer game. So sometimes you are in a game and you continue that game with a multiplayer. You have multiplayer in the game and you continue that game as a romantic game, as a playful game. That's not, it's the third one, but it's not a good relationship at all. Because relationship, a love relationship, and any kind of relationship, not only love relationship, any kind of relationship is not a game. And ludic individuals are comfortable with deception and manipulation in their relationship. That's why I'm telling you, believe me, I'm telling you, it's not a good relationship. Okay? And they tend to be low on commitment and are often emotionally distant because ludic individuals are more focused on the short term. They tend to place greater importance on the physical characteristics. So sometimes they misplace priorities. They put more importance to less important things and they change the values. And they are also more likely to engage in sexual hookup. I have very good example of this type in the church. They manipulate as much as they can and they keep the distance intentionally. And pragma. Pragma practically rules for these types. Logic is used to determine compatibility and future prospects. This doesn't mean that these individuals use an emotionless, spoke like approach to their relationships. Rather, they place a high importance on whether a potential mate will be suited to meet their needs. These needs might be social or financial. Pragmatists might wonder if their prospective partner would be accepted by friends. They are afraid that when they want to introduce their partner to the family doesn't accept that partner. This is the fourth one, mania. And they constantly want to receive acceptance. So always they have to prove something. They say, prove it, prove it. In a relationship, they don't they are not satisfied until the other partner prove it. They always want to other person that prove something. Prove it, prove it. If they didn't get the approval, then that relationship broke. In that relationship, because of the possessiveness associated with this style, jealousy can be an issue for this individual. Jealousy rise if you, for example, in this kind of relationship, if you don't receive acceptance, if your partner cannot prove it, then jealousy arises. That is why you don't need, approved every single day. You don't need to say, prove it. Prove it to your partner that every day he has to prove something. And the next one is agape. Agape is giving and caring, and caring is centered on this kind of relationship. You care about other person. When you say I don't care, then it means that you don't have a good relationship. They will also be particularly appreciative of acts of care and kindness that they receive back from their partner. Perhaps because these individuals are so accepting, they tend to have very high level of relationship satisfaction. And there is truth about love. Let me complete this section to talk about the truth about love, because I don't want to make it long. And next week I'm going to talk about 12 stages of love, because these are stages. These are stages on romantic relationship. These are steps to love. There is 12 steps to love. There are 12 stages to love. So I'm going to talk about it next week. But right now, there is some fact, there is some truth about love. The kind of love that we feel toward our significant other is likely to change over time. At the start of a relationship, we feel anticipation about seeing our partner, and we are excited every time we see them. Every time when we see our significant other, we are excited. We excited every single time we see our significant other. But over time, we don't get any excitement. So what? I'm seeing you every day. At least I see you every Tuesday, Wednesday, Sunday, Friday. So we have other things that we can see each other. So there is no excitement there. It changes over time. And then there are the heady feelings we associate with being in love and are very characteristics of romantic love. But in almost all relationships, these intense emotions are not sustainable and will fade over months by deeper connection as the people in the partnership grow to truly know each other. This stage is companionate love and can last a lifetime. Unfortunately, many people do not realize that love is a normal and indeed healthy transition. Because the ardent feeling of adoration subside, sometimes people will think that they have fallen out of love. Sometimes when compassion, when in a certain group, I guess the first one or third one, or even the anything except second one, or the agape. There is two of them is very good, but the rest, after a few years, you feel you are out of love. You fell in love, but you are out of love. So what happened? It's normal to any kind of relationship. Then it fade over. It disappeared. That compassion disappeared. These are the heady feelings we associate with being in love and are very characteristic of romantic love. But in almost all relationships, these intense emotions are not sustainable and will fade over months or a couple of years, at most couple of years. Those passionate feelings will then be replaced by deeper connection as the people in the partnership grow to truly know each other. This stage, I told you what does it stage mean. Unfortunately, many people do not realize that the evolution from romantic love to companion love is the normal and indeed healthy transition. Because the ardent feelings of adoration subside, sometimes people will think that they have fallen out of love, when in fact the intimacy and closeness of compassionate love can be extremely powerful. If only given the chance, this is a shame, as this individual might never experience any love. So let me close this section with something that I want to give you conclusion for all that I said. When you want to start a relationship, be careful about your choices. Sometimes there is a chemistry between two people. I know that. But that chemistry is not enough reason to relationship endurance. Maybe you have chemistry and you match with each other. But unless you understand each other, unless you work with each other, unless you, because every age has different characteristics. If you have a boyfriend or girlfriend and you grow with each other, or both of them, boys and girls, they change. And if they don't understand that change, they cannot get along. So if you meet somebody at the age of 20 or 30, it's so much difference that if you meet someone at the age of 40, so much difference, because people change. No matter how your personality is, you change. Change is inevitable. So when you get married, there is a lot of divorce because of that. Not only because of money. Some people, they get divorced because of money. They have financial problem, or they they are not in agreement how to spend their money, and they fight and they get divorced. And sometimes because there is a changes. I know, especially honeymoon is so sweet. You are relaxed, you don't have anything to worry about. But when you go back to reality, then everything start to get apart. Everything is different from honeymoon to real life. Honeymoon is not a real life. Enjoy your honeymoon, but after that, you have to work and work and work and build a long lasting relationship. So I suggest you don't put a lot of effort to your emotion. Your emotion change. Sometimes you upset with each other. You get angry at each other, right? So pass those emotions, pass those moments, and build a long-lasting relationship. But sometimes you have to say goodbye to your loved one. You can say, I love you, and don't do any action. If you don't want to lose anybody, if you don't want to lose somebody, just do it. Just do and fight. And don't try to do something against that feeling of other person, or be indifferent. If you don't care, if you be indifferent, so definitely you lose your loved one. So beat the indifference and just do it. Peace of God be with you all.